One of the questions I get asked here most is, what is the correct speed for doing permanent makeup? People are looking for a definitive answer and there just isn't one, and I'm going to demonstrate why. At the end, I'm going to give you some tips for how you know you've got the correct speed, so stick around. So what is the correct machine and hand speed for permanent makeup? Well, again, it depends on what treatment, who your client is, and what look you're aiming for. I'm going to demonstrate on latex. So we're going to actually talk about the extremes first. So my machine is on about 5.4 and I use this setting a lot. That doesn't mean it's going to be right for you. Let's try and explain. So I'm going to pick up some pigment and I want you to imagine that my needle goes in and I don't move my hand at all. So all I'm doing there by holding my needle still is just implanting pigment into one spot. Let's take it to the other extreme. Really fast hand. So you can see the difference between this. This is concentrated pigment here in one spot, and these are very scattered dots, pixels we call them when they, those individual circles. And these are all really spread out, so that's the same speed, but a different hand movement, and you can see the difference. So what we need to do is we need to think about our technique and what it is we're trying to achieve. So look at that, really dark spot, really scattered pixels. What are we trying to achieve? So if you're a beginner, the chances are you've got a slow hand. You're not experienced enough yet. You don't know how to move your hand properly, you're learning. So let's just do it on my speed, 5.4, and I'm just going to show you a pendulum movement that I would use for an ombre brow. So you can see that all these pixels are nice and evenly spaced. Also, they taper off at the end, both sides, nice and soft. So when I extend that section by about half, and then continue that on, I'm going to get seamless work. There's no obvious joins there. So 5.4 suits my hand speed. I'm not the quickest in the world and I'm not the slowest in the world. And when we wipe this here, you can see that we're looking for seamless results. And that's what we've got. There's no obvious joins there. Now, if you're a beginner and you're a little bit slower, so let's turn this machine down to match a slower hand. So the machine should match your hand for what result you're trying to get. So let's pretend I'm back at the beginning again and I'm learning to do this. So I've got a slower hand, I'm having to think a little bit more. Then I'm still getting these seamless results. Okay, maybe I've not implanted as much as the quicker hand, but I'm still getting a nice transition between those dots. So what happens and when a lot of beginners trip up is they ask people what hand speed to use. Let's just turn that up a little bit. So say let's go up to a 6 and try and do the same thing. In fact, no, let's turn it up to a 7, because actually I would use a 7 for eyeliner. And let's do the same hand movement. So you can see immediately that those dots are really close together because the needle's going in and out faster. So it's put them all close together. So let's do the same amount. Same hand movement. So I'm moving my hand in exactly the same way, but you can see so much more pigment is coming out. My strokes aren't as light and airy. They don't fade out nicely at the ends. And what you get when you wipe is these obvious patches. So if you're getting that in your work, the chances are the machine is far too fast for your hand and you need to slow it down. It's far better to be at a lower speed producing the results, even if it takes you longer time, than getting results like that, because you're just going to get really obvious lines in your work and it doesn't look good. Let's talk about the other extreme then. So eyeliner, I'm going to keep it on a 7. And so let's just imagine, obviously I wouldn't be doing an eyeliner in this colour. But say I'm just going to move along in a circular technique there. Slow hand, faster machine. And then when we wipe that, you see the difference in the implantation. All it is just a different hand movement and a different speed. So faster machine, slower hand speed, we're staying in one place and implanting as much colour. If you did that on brows, you're going to get a really blocky result. So it just depends what it is we're trying to achieve, what treatment we're doing it in, and on us as well. It also matters what machine you've got. So I want you to listen to this. And then I'm just going to attach my Zion instead at 7. So still the same power source. You can hear that's running slower. So just because somebody else says they use their machine at 5.4 on a different machine may be completely different speed. It's just the voltage going in. So there is no perfect speed, but what you need to watch out for is what your results look like. So I hope this will give you confidence to understand how your hand is moving in relation to your machine. So how do you know if you're at the right speed? Well, if your ombre brows or even your latex practice has really obvious patches and doesn't blend, then your machine is too fast for your hand. Turn it down. You're never likely to make mistakes at a slow speed. If you need to pack colour in quickly, then slow your hand and turn your machine up slightly. Remember too that all machines differ, even at the same voltage, so stop trying to get a one-size-fits-all answer and just learn the theory I've given you here in the practical and apply it to your clients. The speed will also depend on what needle movement you're using. Do you know the different needle movements? Well, I've made this video here to explain them. Practice along with me here. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you soon.